So the first thing I'm going to do is start with the marinade for these steaks, and it really is a very, very simple marinade. Just basically starts out with some balsamic vinegar, a little bit of fresh garlic, about 2 cloves of fresh garlic. And hey, I hope you'll come out and see me. I'm going to be in Fond du Lac on Saturday. They do a really neat thing there. It's called the Fond du Lac Ag Showcase, and it just is so much fun. There's tons of stuff to do. It's a great way to beat the winter blues, get out of the house, do something a little different. They've got all sorts of different food you can try, all sorts of different demonstrations. They even have live animals. So it's a neat event, and I'm doing 2 cooking demos out there. One is at 11, and the other's at 1:30. So come on out. It's going to be a ton of fun. And you'll get to even try the food that I'm making afterwards. Okay, so in goes our fresh garlic into our balsamic vinegar. Half the garlic did not make it into the bowl. It's going to be one of those mornings, is it now? Okay. And then some olive oil. So this is a really simple marinade. And this is one of those steaks don't need all day. I really like to marinate chicken all day long or even overnight. I love to. What you pointing at, Ann?
The whisk.
Oh, the whisk. Oh, Ann had a whisk there, right there for me. Anyway, I love to marinate pork tenderloin overnight, but steaks, this is one of those things, if you just have in 15, 20 minutes while you're waiting, you know, to toss the salad together and putting the rest of the dinner together, that's really all it needs to give it some great flavor. So you can let this sit in the fridge all day. I wouldn't do it overnight. I think that's going to be too strong of a flavor. But if you just have a little bit of time or even an hour, that works great too. So this is a nice marinade for the steaks. I'm using beef tenderloin. Any type of steak that you'd like to use would work perfect. New York strip, T-bone. What's your favorite kind of steak? Ribeye? Ann likes the tenderloin. I'm with you on that one, Ann. I like the tenderloin too. So I just want to make sure that the steaks are really coated well.
Ooh, I like flank.
Oh, I love a flank steak too. This would marinate, and this recipe would be great for flank steak. And flank steak's really lean too. Okay, so let that sit a little bit. And then you can fire up the grill, as I said. If you've got a grill pan, that works great too. Or a little olive oil into a stainless skillet. I like to, if I'm going to do it on the stove, I like to use a stainless skillet, not a non-stick, because you're going to get some really nice browning. So then we're going to season these steaks well with some salt and pepper on both sides. And I love, and we're talking about kind of taking steaks to a whole nother level, I love using fresh rosemary with steaks. It's just that something that it's really going to work well with the cream sauce that we're doing. I want this to be hot, but not too hot. When you're using fresh rosemary, it's real important, especially for a date night, but just in general to chop it up well. It's such great flavor, but the texture of it, you know, nobody wants a big piece of rosemary stuck in their tooth. That's no fun. So really take the time if you're going to use it to chop it up well. And just even chopping it smells amazing. Okay. So a little fresh rosemary along with that salt and pepper. Yum. Got a smoking hot skillet here. Ann went and turned the exhaust fan on. Smart lady. And it's always important to season both sides of your steaks. So we seasoned the one side. We're going to season the other with some salt and pepper and a little bit more of that rosemary. Now I love mushrooms with my steak, so in the other skillet here I'm going to do some sauteed mushrooms. Just a little olive oil or butter. These happen to be already pre-sliced and cleaned for me to make life really easy. Great combination, steak and mushrooms together. Love that. And now for the sauce. This is the easiest sauce, and it is killer. I think that some of these sauces that you get at these fancy steakhouses seem so complicated, but really a lot of them aren't. Let me just check these steaks here. Oh yeah. Gorgeous. So this is a sauce recipe. It's a Gorgonzola cream sauce, and Gorgonzola is a blue cheese, an Italian blue cheese. So we're kind of got the whole Italian thing going on here because we basically did the balsamic olive oil marinade with the fresh rosemary and the steak. So I was looking to kind of complement those flavors, and I thought a Gorgonzola cream sauce, boy, doesn't that sound fancy? But it's so, so simple. So we're starting with some Lamers heavy cream, and I'm just heating that in a non-stick pan. Now if it's summer, and come on, I am so craving summer. What you can do is make this sauce quickly on the side burner of your grill. Or if you're brave enough to go out this weekend, fire up the grill, and you've got the propane and it's still working. I think I told you guys that I was so craving a steak on the grill recently, and went to go fire up the grill and realized the propane tank was completely out. So that's all right. We just did them in a skillet. They still tasted really good. Not quite as good as the steaks on the grill, but they were good. Okay, I think I'm gonna switch burners here and do the steaks on this one and get our mushrooms going on that one. Basketball playoff season is this time of year, and my daughter Ireland is on the dance team. She has been a busy little lady. They had a game Tuesday, they have one tonight, they have one Friday night. Okay, so our mushrooms are doing their thing. I'm carefully heating the cream. The deal with that is I don't want to overheat it. You have to be really careful when you're heating cream because it can boil over on you, and then you've lost half of the cream that you want to use for the recipe. So just going to actually switch burners again. Seems like I'm using every burner in this place today. And as this cream is starting to heat, I've got some Gorgonzola cheese, which again is that Italian blue cheese. And this cream sauce is seriously that easy. Basically just heated cream. And I'm going to take, once it gets warm, take some of the Gorgonzola cheese and just crumble it up. I love buying it in a wedge and not pre-crumbled. I just think the flavor is so much better. And that's it, really. A little bit of black pepper. Really doesn't need too much salt. You could just do a pinch of salt. A little bit of black pepper. But that cheese has quite a bit of salt in there already. Now this isn't going to be a real thick sauce. If you want it a little thicker, what you can do is heat that cream for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Let it reduce down and then add your Gorgonzola cheese, but it's just supposed to be a little bit of a drizzle on top to kind of enhance the steaks. It's not a real thick sauce. And for people who don't think they like blue cheese, the heavy cream really mellows this out. So it's not like you're eating a big piece of blue cheese out of hand. Okay, so how are our steaks doing? You want to cook your steaks till they're done to your liking. I happen to love mine medium rare. Perfect. Got our mushrooms going over here. Sauteed mushrooms. Smells so delicious. Throw some of those over the steak. You can saute the mushrooms, by the way, using that side burner too. Use that side burner when that weather gets a little nicer. can hardly wait. And then a drizzle of our Gorgonzola cream sauce. Don't need a lot, just a little bit. You could top it with a little bit more of the rosemary. And maybe even a little bit more of the crumbled Gorgonzola cheese. And there you go. I know, this is something you'd pay $30 or more for out at a restaurant per person. Save some dough, make it at home. It's really quick and easy to do. Marinated steaks, mushrooms with a Gorgonzola cream sauce. Recipe we'll put on the website. Coming up, we are making a homemade pesto sauce. We're taking a new spin on the Waldorf salad and making it a little more healthy. And later, perfect for a day like today, a Crock-Pot Southwestern chicken stew that's out of this world, and it's actually really good for you too. So stay with us, we'll be back.